Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Moto Man Dan. Again, wow, look at that. 3 videos in a day, actually, because I received another one about co-op, some information on co-op. So, what's going on? Today, we're going to cover the heroes, or in this video, we're going to cover the heroes. A lot of you in the comments of Discord and Reddit and stuff have been asking about what kind of heroes we're expecting. Are they going to bring back any Unchained, blase blase? Yes, they're thinking about it. No, they're not working on it, and we'll see. As far as the heroes are concerned, they all have abilities, although they're minor compared to something like Unchained. There's no weavers like there were in Orcs Must Die 2. The heroes can be found in the spell book. If you look at all your items here at the bottom, you click on heroes, you double click.
Yes, I am prepared.
They'll have a line that they say, and that allows you to know that they're there. If you want to switch around your skins, you just click on this arrow down here, and if there's a skin for you to buy, it'll say there's 50 skulls, and the skins cost 50 skulls currently. So right now there's only 2 skins per, but I think they're going to come out with more. I know for the pre-release on Steam, they're going to come out with one for Egan and Kelsey, I think. So we'll see that, but right now I have all the skins attached to all the guys. So we're going to hop into games, and I'm going to show you their unique abilities and how they can be used, some ideas about them, and then at the end I'll give you my final score. One more thing to talk about all the heroes. They all move the same speed. They all have the same base health as far as I know. They all have 200 health as a base, and they all have 5 squares per second. A square is a grid square. So a barricade is, for example, a 2x2. So one of the corners of the barricade, stretch it out 5 times. There you go. There's your movement speed. But then whenever you're sprinting, and I'll show you what the sprint looks like, it's a 7.5 squares per second. So that is all the information about the base of all of the heroes. All right, let's just jump into the first hero, Cygnus. Okay, Cygnus is the first hero we're going to look at. Now, you do get to play Cygnus in the campaign whenever you play the war scenarios, because it's like the history of Cygnus. And whenever you play co-op, it actually, your co-op player plays Warwick. So for Cygnus, he starts with a lightning staff. That's his primary weapon. When you beat the game, you unlock all the primary weapons of all the people you unlock. So for Cygnus, that's the lightning staff. Look at my weapon tier to see how good I think it is. His specialty, or all of the specialties. Well, first of all, here's what his run is. Here's what his sprint run is. Sprint run for me is on left shift on the keyboard. I know, or I think that I saw in the menu options on the Steam release that you can actually modify those key bindings. You can't yet on Stadia. So hopefully that comes out on Stadia as well. But yeah, here's your double jump. It's a fall. This is probably, in my opinion, the best ability of them all. It's called Feign Death, and what it does is it gives you a health regeneration. I think it gives you advanced mana regeneration as well. So it gives you a health regeneration. It also makes enemies ignore you, which is good. Except for it doesn't work on gnolls currently. It may work on gnolls in the Steam release. We'll have to see. We'll have to test it. But right now, gnolls will still target you. That means gnolls and gnoll grenadiers. So if you're in your kill box, because you're sitting in your kill box and you're going to pop your head up every time something starts getting through, right? You got your kill box in here and you're sitting there, and a gnoll comes up. The gnoll will attack you. Instead of going into the rift, you have to stand up, walk to the other side of the rift, and the gnoll will jump into the rift, or you'll have to stand up and kill him. I think it's really good for placing yourself where sappers are, if you know where sappers are going to come from, or fire elementals, and then you jump up with a stone staff and a crossbow or something, and you just stone them, kill them. That's all she wrote. It's that easy. That's what I think Cygnus is good for. I also think it's good for Endless, because enemies won't target you. Archers won't target you and accidentally attack barricades because the trajectory of the arrow hits a cade instead of you. I also think it's good for having to fight ogre mages. Those do a lot of damage. You can do this. Now, one of the cool things about the Feign Death is if a projectile's coming into you and you're gonna die, bam, you pop it and you're golden. That's it. If the projectile hits you, you're invincible at this point. You're invincible. Nothing can hurt you while you're doing this. Now, there is one bug that may or may not be fixed at the Steam release. I don't know yet. The health regeneration of the Rift is really powerful. It's really potent. The health regeneration of your Feign Death is much less. If you Feign Death in the Rift, you're going to break away from what the Rift gives you, and you're only going to take your Feign Death health regeneration. If you stand back up, it does not reset. You have to leave the Rift zone, come back into the Rift zone in order to get that Rift heal. Now, that's not the way it's supposed to work. It is the way it works right now. I don't know if it's going to be fixed in the Steam release. We'll have to see and test it. It is a little bit annoying because if you're trying to build around the rift or fight around the rift, then projectiles coming in can still kill you. Generally, the rift can out-heal a lot of projectiles, but without the healing from the rift, you're not going to be able to do that. So, you know, just understand that could possibly happen if you see the rift not healing you anymore and you're playing Cygnus. That's why. He's, you know, I don't use him all the time. Sometimes I'll use Max of Warwick, depending on the map. Egan's better for combos. But as far as Cygnus is concerned, for his longevity of the game and being able to be immune to things, I would have to give Cygnus an 8 out of 10. All right, the next hero we get to talk about today is Egan. Now, Egan's primary weapon is a magic longbow. That's what he starts with. Again, you can't change it until you beat the game, then you can change it to whatever you want. Egan and Kelsey are the two starting heroes. Here's Egan's run animation. Here's the sprint animation. Egan's special ability is a ground slam. It does do damage, and it also does a knockback. You know what that means? That's two things for a combo, a knockback and a damage source. Meaning he's really good for combos, especially if you go melee. If you get him with a blade staff or a Dwarven Warhammer, you run in, you kind of spin the Dwarven Warhammer around, you double slam, bam. You're looking at some combos, right? So that's really good. Egan's probably one of the better ones for combos. You know, he's not the safest because you do have to be within close proximity of the enemies to do that, but that's fine. So, yeah, there's nothing else really that special about Egan. You know, Cygnus is one of the more special ones, and Max and Warwick as well. As far as how much I use him, I really don't. I use Max, Warwick, or Cygnus, but I do know if you're going to go melee or you're going to try and chase some combos or something, Egan is definitely your go-to for that because of his ground slam. I would have to say I give Egan a 7 out of 10. All right, let's talk about Gabriella. Gabriella, in the story, I think she was evil and then she became Max's friend or something. She's a playable character in Orcs Must Die Unchained, as maybe also 2. I don't. Yeah, actually, yeah, she was in 2 as well. You're seeing right now her floaty down, her slow fall. You know, like a monk in EverQuest, he has slow fall here. You got to press and hold. Looks like how much I play her. I didn't even know that. You got to press and hold the space bar for her to float, and that's all she does is float. If there was a reason for her to have a slow fall, like normally all heroes took falling damage, or there are places that you could land without using other heroes that this could work on, great. But it's just not worth it. Yeah, Gabriella's ability is not great. Her weapon is the Scepter of Domination. So if you haven't seen my video already on that, go check that out. On the weapon tier list, cover all of them to include this one. It's also locked, just like the rest of them, until you beat the campaign. Gabriella's not great at all. In my opinion, this ability is like the worst ability of them all. I don't know of any instance where I would ever use it, and I would use all the rest of them. So for that reason, I have to give Gabriella. Oh, I will say before I give the review or the number there, they changed Kelsey. They changed her double jump. I'm going to cover that when I cover Kelsey. I don't know if they changed Gabriella or not. If they have and they made it better, great. I'll put her up higher on the list for the Steam release I'm talking about. But if they haven't, she gets a 3 out of 10. I would give it a 0 out of 10, but I'm not giving 10s and I'm not giving 0s, so she 3 out of 10. I probably use the Freedom Trinket, watch the Trinket video for that, more than I would use Gabriella. 2.5 out of 10. You convinced me. Okay, the next hero we have to talk about is Kelsey.
Off we go.
Off we go. All right, Kelsey starts with the blunderbuss. The shotgun. Kelsey is it's a pretty cool idea, I think. You know, a lot of people maybe choose Kelsey because he's a young girl with a shotgun, I guess. War mage, right? If you want to see my thing about the shotgun, check out the weapon review I did in the other video. Kelsey's ability is to levitate currently. Now, both of my hands are off the keyboard, which is good because I don't have to hold it. Now, I've seen footage of the Steam release, and it looks like she can move around at the cost of mana. Even before the Steam release, it's okay. It's nothing really that special, but you can use it. And here's how. It's very interesting, I guess I should say. It's very interesting on how to use it. So, if an ogre comes out of that door, and we're close enough to the edge, he may charge at us. If he charges, he'll hit other orcs, and the other orcs may fly off the map. He'll push the other orcs, basically, because he's trying to charge at us. He targets us. Okay, but then he can't reach us, so he doesn't do any damage. So basically, the ogre's charging at us to reach us. He can't reach us, and he knocks out other orcs off into the hazards with us just standing here, right? And of course, we have our whatever weapon, and we can shoot him, and we can place traps. We can do everything from levitating right here. The problem is that now you're out in the open for archers and stuff. One of the other cool things, I guess it's cool things, is you can kind of stutter step through the levitation all the way down. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, I almost made it. But you can definitely make it from up there to down there in just one jump using the double jump ability that Kelsey has. So, you know, that's another thing you can do with it. But like Gabriella's, that's not really that useful. However, floating off of the edge of the map to get ogres to charge you and knock over other orcs into the abyss, it's pretty unique, you know? Nobody else has anything like it. So who knows? But I think it got better whenever they improved her with the Steam release. I definitely think it got better. But since this is the non-Steam release version, I'm going to have to give Kelsey 5 out of 10. I'm going to have to give Kelsey a 5 out of 10. All right, now we got Prisoner Max.
Go, go, go!
It's a retired Max, I guess. And there's Prisoner Max. Oh, he actually does have 3 skins. I didn't know that. So yeah, we've got retired Max, Prisoner Max, and... there we go. Orc World Max.
Oh, yeah, good to
Okay.
go.
Let's jump into Max's thing. All right, Max gets the crossbow. So if you're wondering how to get the crossbow, just beat the game. That's all you need to do. Here's what it looks like running, sprint, whatever. Max is pretty unique in the fact that he can actually jump back here. Okay, there we go. All right, so you just saw the jump. You can jump from over here to up here. When you're up here on this lantern area, you actually, this is like the edge of the map, I think, but you cannot be attacked by anything that runs through. So if you're playing on switchbacks or other maps that have something cool like this, and I'll show you one more, enemies are not going to attack you, so you can come over here to AFK, you know, use an auto clicker so you don't get kicked out of Stadia, you know, or otherwise play on Steam. I don't know if you get kicked out of Steam for AFK or not yet, but I guess that's something we'll find out. But yeah, for Max, you know, you can double jump into unique places to kind of sit and wait and watch kill boxes happen. This is one of those places on Switchback. Okay, this is one of those places. This is close quarters. I think you can get on top of the pipes, but I haven't tried it in a while, and just tried it a bunch and I couldn't figure it out. So, but I'm pretty sure you can get up on top of those pipes from jumping on top of that fire. But you can also jump up over here. You know, generally things that are running out here won't see you, especially if your back is to this wall. They'll actually run out here before they attack you. So that's just another cool place that you can go as Max. You know, feel free to jump around. If you go into war scenarios, you can kind of jump around pretty far with Max using the ward towers. You can just kind of jump on top of those and jump on top of, I don't know, other stuff. So yeah, that's what Max's double jump ability allows you to do. Just get around a couple of different places. Some of them are useful. There's nothing else really too special about that. I don't use it very much, but it's not bad or anything. I mean, if you are having a hard time jumping over a hazard, and you can double jump to get out of it, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, overall, that's Max. I would give Max a 7 out of 10. Okay, time for Warwick. No, Warwick. Here's Warwick's regular skin. Good Warwick.
Ready indeed.
Ready indeed.
I am what all apprentices should strive to be.
Okay, you just seen how easy it was for me to teleport around with Warwick. I think he's easier to use than Max as far as his teleportation. It's a bit more consistent. You don't have to necessarily get a running jump. The distance is always the same. So for Warwick, his unique weapon is the Elven short swords, with, you know, I feel about those. But this is a unique weapon. You unlock it whenever you unlock him at the end of the game. He is supposed to be Cygnus's friend and then turned enemy because he gets jealous of Cygnus or whatever. So that's Warwick. I think he has the better of the jumping skills, but I still would rather bring Cygnus to most fights. But I think he's better than Max. So for Warwick, I have to give him a 7.5 out of 10. All right, that concludes my heroes overview. I know that a lot of people are, you know, in the Discord, and they're kind of looking at the heroes as like the one major place for improvement for the game because they feel like the, you know, heroes aren't unique enough, and I would have to agree. I'd have to agree. I don't think they're necessarily unique enough, but I know that if you make them too unique, then you got to do other kind of balances in the game and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think they're fine the way they are right now. I would love to see more guys coming in. That's cool. Like I said, Kelsey's upgrade or her rework that she had for the Steam release, that looks really good. It looks like that's going to be a lot more useful. If you want to move around while levitating, that's pretty cool, right? You can get to a lot of places, and I think it's going to be dope. So I can't wait to see what happens to all of them in the Steam release. But as of right now, that's my scoring. Let me know if you agree, disagree, what kind of changes you would implement if you were the developers. And yeah, and overall, just thanks for watching and hanging out. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.